and welcome to Late Night with the Sauce Boys. I'm your host, Sam.
And I am your co-host, Daniel.
Daniel, how are you?
I'm doing quite well. How are you?
I'm doing quite well myself.
Well, that's great.
I was going to say something. What's the opposite of quite? Is that a thing? I was going to try and say it, but I couldn't think of it.
What do you mean, like the opposite of it, or just a different word that means basically the same thing?
No, a different word that means the opposite of quite. I don't think it's one of those words that quite applies. We'll get back to it. Daniel,
Yeah.
are you an asshole?
What?
Are you an asshole?
Yeah.
Do you know any assholes?
I'm talking to her right now.
Oh. This guy's got jokes. This guy knows how to be funny. Well, so anyway, Daniel, there are some real, pardon my French, a-holes out there. And we got to suss them out.
Yeah.
And fortunately, we're both experts on the matter.
Yes.
So we know how to help people with these issues.
Yeah.
So we're going to read through a few posts on Am I the Asshole? // And we're going to judge them.
Professionally decide whether or not these people are in fact a-holes.
So I'm going to get us started.
All right. Let's have it.
Am I the a-hole for telling my husband that he has to let my dad witness his colonoscopy?
Oh, wait.
Let's jump right into the story. Yes, do you have thoughts before we do this?
No, just nothing that won't be cleared up by the story.
My mother-in-law wants to be in the room when I give birth. She is an unpleasant and pushy woman, and none of her own daughters have allowed her near them when they gave birth. My sisters-in-law are all at least 12 years older than my husband and I, and are all done having kids. I am the last chance for my mother-in-law to see the birth of a grandchild. I have zero interest in letting that judgmental old woman see me down there. She has objected to me from the beginning because I have tattoos, and I am not in any way interested in being a stay-at-home wife. I have a lot of tattoos and a career I plan on continuing, and I have tattoos down there that are none of her business.
Ooh.
My husband is her baby boy. He is a good husband and has stood up for me against her many times. When she tried to interfere with our wedding, he put his foot down. When she tried to convince him that we should move to his hometown where he could work from, but I would not be able to find an employer in my line of work, he said no, because my career is important to me. And while we can live off of his earnings and the cost of living is lower in his hometown, our combined earnings are much better altogether. She has started crying to him that all she wants to see a grandchild being born. All of her friends have experienced it, and she wants it. He is starting to crumble under her emotional blackmail. So I made it clear that the only way I could ever agree was if, before the birth, my husband made an arrangement for my father to witness him getting a colonoscopy. He would need a ride anyways, so 2 birds, 1 stone. He said I'm being ridiculous, and I said none of my brothers would let my dad see him getting a camera shoved up their A, and he felt left out. He finally understood my point, but his mother is upset I use such a stupid comparison. She says that it isn't the same thing at all. I offered to change it to me watching her get a Brazilian wax, and she hasn't called in a week. I know seeing a baby being born might be her dream, but I am not interested. Am I the a-hole?
Ooh. I am inclined to say no.
Why?
Because I feel like it should be more of the mother-in-law's goal to have her family want her to be there.
Oh.
She sounds like, she said she's very, very pushy, very judgmental. And she hasn't built herself up to be the kind of person who is wanted someone. I feel like.
Wow, all right.
Well, I mean, that's what it sounded like, right? I don't know. I feel like that's...
Well, first of all, I need the story of how she tried to interfere with the wedding.
Yeah.
I need to know this story. Not because it's important to this judgment at all.
You're just really curious.
I think that's a really good story. She wanted to be on the cake.
Yeah.
She wanted the three figures.
Yeah.
Male, the groom, bride, mother-in-law.
And a mother-in-law in the middle. In between them.
Yeah.
She wanted balloons shaped like her head.
She wanted to be the priest.
Yeah. She wanted to be the one getting married.
No, I think this one. I picked this one because I think it was a funny story.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cut and dry.
That's not that funny story.
I thought it was pretty funny. I think it's cut and dry. I think this woman, the mother, is
the mother-in-law
horrible.
Or the
Yeah,
pregnant lady.
the mother-in-law.
Okay.
She is the a-hole.
Yes.
I think the husband, little bit of an a-hole for letting it get to this point.
What do you mean? How?
No emotional, no emotion like that because she's like, she's saying that her husband is starting to cave to the mother-in-law's emotional blackmail, and that's his responsibility to not let that happen.
Are you victim blaming right now?
The husband?
Yes. His mother is, like you just said, emotionally blackmailing him, and he's crawling into a ball in a corner, crying every night, just trying to figure it out.
We don't.
And then
That's an
you
assumption.
think he is an a-hole for
I don't
being
think he's
pushed
an a-hole.
around. You just said you did.
All right, I did say that, and I mean
it.
But
You're calling
But
him an a-hole for being subjected to an a-hole. That's not fair.
But all right, the story does not specify what exactly the mother-in-law is doing. But I'm just like putting myself in his shoes.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing this woman could say to me that would get me to question this for a second.
You don't know what she said. She said, "Son,
But
if you don't get me in that room, I will break into that room, steal that baby, and move to Bermuda and raise the baby as my own. I will teach it
That's
karate,
not emotional
and it will become a ninja."
That's not emotional blackmail.
You will
though.
only
That's
see
just a
your
threat.
child when I send him on a mission to kill you.
And even then, you're not gonna see him.
Because I will have trained him well. That's what she said, and then you're you're calling him an a-hole for not wanting to dismiss everything she said. Shame.
Yes.
Wow. Shame.
No. Yeah. And because since he's acting like this, and he's put his wife and mother of his child in this situation that she's clearly uncomfortable with, she just got to resort to drastic times, drastic measures.
What?
Drastic times,
Yeah.
drastic measures.
How does...
She's at a drastic point, so she's got to make the colonoscopy comment. She's got to push this situation's already at the extreme. She's got to push it even further. She did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Not the a-hole.
Yeah. I don't know. I
I
don't...
feel like we both came to the same conclusion.
We both came to the
But
same conclusion about the mother-in-law, but not about the son. Why do you still think the son is...
But this isn't about them. This is about the woman.
What? When did...
This isn't about them.
Okay.
This is about the woman.
Yeah.
What say you?
Can you repeat your statement?
The woman
Yeah.
who is making, or not make, I won't say making, because that's not specified in the story, is requesting that her father watch her husband's colonoscopy.
Yeah.
That woman, not an a-hole.
Correct.
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 Then what are we still doing?
You said the son was an a-hole for letting his mom
Yes.
push him around.
Yeah.
I disagree.
This isn't about him.
It was, and then you moved on. We didn't resolve it.
I think we agreed to disagree.
That was
The
not
post
communicated.
is not referring. The post is not, am I the a-hole? My mom wants to watch my wife give birth, but she doesn't want to. And
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
siding
I
with
kind
my
of lost
mom.
track of that. The question is, am I in the wrong for making that suggestion?
Yes.
Gotcha. No.
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 Court dismissed. Cut and dry. Would you like to read our next case?
Yes. Compared to that one, I feel like this one's even more cut and dry. I feel like it's...
Okay.
But, we can still give it a shot. So,
Mm-hmm.
am I the asshole for not letting my relatives stay in my house when they visited without telling me? So this
A-hole. I'll have to bleep that.
What? Oh, sorry. So I live by myself, and I travel a lot for my work. About 8 hours ago, I came home and took a nap, which turned into a 4-hour snooze fest. I woke up to knocking at my gate and yelling. I went to see it, and it was my cousin Ed and his siblings, along with an aunt and her kids and grandkids. It was about a dozen...
This is just the plot. This is the plot of Christmas Vacation.
Oh, maybe. Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, it was about a dozen of them.
Continue.
It was about a dozen of them. They were all smiling at me. Ed told me there was going to be a little family reunion, and they needed me to let them stay at my house because it was the only place that had enough room. I said no and told them I had no prior knowledge, nor did they inform me beforehand. It's kind of the same thing. I also told him the reason I live by myself is because I don't trust most of my relatives. Ed told me they have no money and no relatives that can, and other relatives can't host them as their houses aren't big enough. I told him they could stay with another aunt, but her house is unfurnished and has major leakage. They begged me, and I still said no. I offered to let the younger one stay with me, but that's it. They swore at me and left instead. Ed told me I was an a-hole, but I shot back that he didn't inform me, and he should know I won't let anyone else stay at my house because he was one of the reasons for it. As in, he threw a party, got drunk, started a fight, and destroyed his TV. So, am I the a-hole? I feel bad for turning them away, but they should have asked me first.
What kind of Brady Bunch type family is this?
It seems like a fun family. we
Wait,
do
okay,
a little
so
trolling.
his cousin, who all showed up? Run down that list for me again.
Cousin Ed and his siblings, along with an aunt and her kids and grandkids. There was about a dozen of them.
And also, so the writer lives alone.
Yes.
What does he do? What does he do for a living?
He says he
When was this
travels
post
a lot
made?
for work.
This man's a spy. He's a secret agent.
He's the ninja from the first. This is several years later. He just killed his parents and now he lives alone.
The family reunion was the funeral.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, it's no wonder he doesn't want his family walking around his house. They'll find all of his weapons and his secret rooms.
Yeah, where he keeps all of his ninja gear. A secret room where he keeps his ninja gear and probably his parents' heads.
Yeah.
Too dark.
I don't know. I don't think so. But yeah, this is pretty clear.
Yeah,
Not
no,
the a-hole.
not the a-hole. There's a simple text like, "Hey, would you mind?" And then that's it.
Like when? All right, but here's my question for you.
Yeah.
How close to the move-in date would you accept that?
That
Like if they texted same day, "Hey, I'm gonna be there by 3 p.m. Can I crash at your place? Can me and my
11
6 children and 5 daughters, can we crash with you?"
6 children and 5 daughters. So
Yeah.
is one
When-
of them
when
a
are
boy?
you- when-
Are there only 6 of them, or are there?
It's like the 11 herbs and spices. We don't know.
Okay. Same day, I think, is too last minute. I'd say like 3 whole days at least.
3 whole days?
3 whole days. And that also depends on how long they're staying. Because this...
Yeah.
Man,
And
Is
also,
it-
what's my work?
you travel a
What,
lot.
like,
But also, last time you
yeah,
trusted...
do they know what I'm doing? Do they know where I am? Do they know that I am home?
Were they counting on you not being home?
Oh, that's so smart. That absolutely has to be what happened.
I mean, but no, he woke up. They were banging on his gate and smiling at him. So they definitely wanted him to be there. Or maybe they were
I
gonna
don't
bang
think
for a
so.
bit,
No, I think
and then if he didn't come out, then they would break in.
I think you cracked this case wide open. They thought he was traveling,
So they figured, yeah, we'll just crash
so
here.
they came to crash at his place. That's absolutely not the a-hole.
Not the a-hole.
Should have killed them like he killed his parents.
But about your question before, I think because the story says it's just for a family reunion, so I don't think they're planning on staying for very long. So for something like that, I'd say 3 days, but like to ask if you want to like permanently move in, I'd say like at least a week, at the very least.
Not the a-hole.
Not the a-hole.
Court dismissed.
Course dismayed. I really hope this next one fits into the story.
Wait, say again?
I hope this next one fits into this overarching
Oh.
story we're uncovering.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
Am I the a-hole for telling my husband I'd rather have food from a restaurant than his cooking?
Ooh. All right. Let's hear it.
So, my husband and I have been together for 6 years now. He's a really good guy, and I feel so lucky that he's mine. Before I got pregnant, I used to do all the cooking and cleaning, as I'm a stay-at-home wife and my husband works full-time. But now that I'm 7 months pregnant, I don't have the energy to cook or clean anymore. So now it falls on my husband to have dinner ready and everything kept neat and tidy. He's never complained once, and he actually seems happy to be doing the chores and cooking for me, or anything else that I need him to do. He really fell in love with cooking, though he tells me he wants to be a chef now. He's constantly showing me new recipes he wants to try and make for me, and he's always jamming out to music in the kitchen while he cooks. Here's where the issue comes in. My husband has never been the best cook. He's not bad at all, and he's made some amazing dishes. He's just clearly not up to my level, and it shows. Last night he made me jerk chicken with Jamaican rice from this recipe he's been talking about making for the past week. He's been really excited to try it and make it, and I was really excited to try it since I've never had it. Once dinner was ready, he called me to the kitchen, and the food looked and smelled amazing. But the only thing was, it didn't taste amazing. Again, my husband isn't a bad cook, but the chicken was so bland and it tasted like cinnamon. Needless to say, I was pretty disappointed in him and asked my husband if he could just go pick up a pizza or something. He seemed sad I didn't like the food and asked if I thought he was a bad cook. I told him honestly, "You're not terrible, but I could have made it better." I thought by telling him at least he's not a terrible cook, he'd be happy with that. But he just got up without saying anything and left to get the pizza. After he got back, he handed me the box of pizza and left upstairs to go to sleep. And he's been acting cold and stoic since me ever since. Am I the a-hole?
Ooh. This one's juicy. This one's personal. I'm inclined to say no. Because that's just open communication, which is good. It's like you're being fully honest, even though, I don't know. It's open communication and honesty, and I appreciate that.
But she was... Yeah, but there's a right way to communicate. There's a right way and a wrong way. And being like... all right. First of all, the picture she paints is she like takes a bite, her face like scrunches in on itself, and she spits it out. And it's like, can you get pizza instead of me having to eat this? And then he's like, oh, do you not like it? And she's like, well, all right. And also he doesn't even say, do you not like it? It's like he jumps to, do you think I'm a bad cook? Which probably says to me, he's been getting the sense for a while that she's not the biggest fan of him as a cook.
Okay.
That this is something that's been stewing. So he's like that. And then she's like, well, and then she just expected him to like shrug it off and be cool with it, and that's a little naive of her.
What did the post say was the moment she? Could you repeat?
What are you asking?
Could you repeat the moment in question from the post?
The moment in question.
Yes. Like she takes a
The moment in
bite
question.
and then vomits.
Let's see. The chicken was so bland and it tasted like cinnamon. Needless to say, I was pretty disappointed in him and asked my husband if he could go pick up a pizza or something. He seemed sad. I didn't like the food and asked if I thought he was a bad cook. I told him honestly, you're not terrible, but I could have made it better.
Ooh. I missed that part. Yeah, don't say that. I missed the I could have made it better the first go around.
Yeah, that's not what you want to be saying. Especially when she wrote that he looked sad.
Yeah.
So he was already taken down a few notches. And she came in with the bat. Just wham.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, you're such a banging cook.
Do it.
Teach him.
Yeah.
Teach him. Give him recipes that you like.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
This woman's terrible, and this is why I don't stand up for pregnant women on the bus.
So being honest with him and like telling him that he's not the best cook, I think is good, but the way she did it is a-hole behavior.
Yeah, and again, like I said, there are alternatives to this. Like this is clearly how she's felt for a while. So you can teach him, inform him politely that this wasn't my favorite.
Yeah.
And then he'll get better.
It wasn't handled properly. And I'm
No.
yeah. I would say yes. You are the a-hole.
Most definitely. Well, that one doesn't really fit into our story.
Yeah. Do you have one more?
Unless-
Maybe they...
Wait, hang on.
Yeah.
Hang on. The story does involve a pregnant woman.
Is it the same couple?
It's the same woman.
Check the usernames.
We're going back in time. we started with her being pregnant on the verge of birth. Then we jumped forward a bunch of times. This is the prequel.
Yeah.
We're going back before all of it.
Dude.
There we go.
Crazy.
That's our... Well, Dale, what have you learned from this adventure?
Be nice to my mother-in-law, or else she'll steal my child and raise him to kill me in 17 years. And also learn how to cook.
Yeah.
All valuable lessons.
All wonderful lessons. We hope you have enjoyed this as much as we have. As always,
that's a low bar. But
I have been
we
Sam.
still hope. What? I have been.
I have been Sam.
What?
I have been Sam.
I have been Daniel.
We have been the Sauce Boys, and we will see you next week. Another episode of Late Night with the Sauce Boys.
Bye bye. Don't be an a-hole.